Hey, how you doing again, gang? So today I want to talk about less is more, right? Less is more. Now, on previous videos, I've talked a lot about, not trying to go too low on, for moving because, sometimes by doing that, you put yourself in a bad situation, right? And a lot of times, sometimes that can lead up to a last minute decision, right? So you'll find a guy that says, okay, you can do it for less, and then close to moving day someone else calls him and offer him more money, and then you get dropped, right? And also going for some guys who are cheap, because they're cheap, they're driving a whole truck and they're trying to push it to the limits and see how far it can goes, and then when your day comes for them to show up, the truck pretty much cracked in, the caps out, broke down, and then you can't find yourself moving. And when those things happen, when things go sideways, then it also can put you in a bad situation, because if that's the last day you have to move and then the mover doesn't show up for whatever reason, you're put in a situation now where chances are you were trying to pay less, now you're going to have to pay more, because you don't have time to go on phone and call up a million and one movers trying to find a cheap mover, right? Because now it's your last day, it's moving day, you have to move today, you don't have next day, because if you're moving into a building where the elevator is booked and everything is set up for that day, you can't push it off to the next day. If you're moving in a house and the closing date's done and now the other people that bought the house is going to move, you have to go, right? And so when sometimes you're trying to save money and you go for guys who are cheaper, right? Sometimes these guys have old vehicle because they're not making a whole lot of money to get something brand new. What happened is truck breaks down and now they can't show up, or they move on to the highest bidder. Now you're going to have to end up spending more money when you were trying to save, you're trying to save money, right? So sometimes you try to save less, but it might end up costing you in the long run, because by doing that, you put yourself in a position now where things cannot work out. Now obviously things can work out. You can find a guy that's cheap and he shows up and you do your move, granted, that's great, but at the same time you want to have peace of mind when you're moving, that when you book a certain type of mover, they're going to show up. And sometimes, like I've been said in a previous video, that when you sometimes pay a little bit more, the types of movers you're going to get when you pay a little bit more are movers who are more on point. Movers are going to show up because reputation is on the line, and also he's going to charge you a certain amount of money. That means he's going to show up, right? A guy is going to go dirt cheap. He can go either way. They cannot show up at all for whatever reason, and it's basically a hit or miss with a cheaper mover, because you don't know what you're getting, right? So those are some of the things you have to know when you're booking your next move. You have to ask yourself, do I want to go that low where I get a guy that's dirt cheap and run the risk of him not showing up, or he shows up and he has no experience and I got my stuff damaged, right? Because some of these guys, they damage your stuff, they don't have insurance, then pretty much that's on you, right? Because you have to understand, in this world you get what you pay for. You look for a cheap mover, don't be surprised if they don't show up. If they don't show up at all, they show up late, they damage your stuff, or they pull a hostage situation where they give you a quote and then when it's time to drop off, then they charge you more money and says nothing ain't coming off the truck until you pay us more, right? So some of the things you gotta look out for on moving date or when you're moving, so you can make better decisions in the kind of mover you're going to get to make sure that you get moved and everything goes smoothly. Okay, so that's what I want to say on this video. If you have any questions, my email is listed below. You can reach out to me if you need a quote, or if you need to move, I'll be more than happy to serve you. Okay, so until next time, folks, take care, and I'll see you on the next video. See you then.